Hello and welcome back. In this section, I'm going to work on the Frappe portal, starting from importing an external template. But before we do that, I have some kind of a little complaint. My recorder, video recorder, OBS Studio has been giving me issues. There's some kind of glitch in the video. You observe that sometimes when I move my mouse, it doesn't really move. And I've used all the settings I can find on it. It gets fixed after sometimes. The issue starts again, and it's really giving me issue. I've kind of some videos I've recorded them up to 2 to 3 times before posting it, and I don't want to keep doing that. For the now, I'm kind of using a new video recorder or a different recorder on my Ubuntu, and you can experience or hear some kind of white or background noise. But please do bear with me until I'm able to get a proper recorder and an editor. In this section, I'm going to work on the Frappe web portal. But if you take a look at my interface, you'll see I've just upgraded my instance, and you can see the beautiful theme. No, though not too different, but there's more of a makeup on the interface. So it's more beautiful now, and you can check it around once you upgrade to version 13, not 13 develop, or sorry, not 13 beta, but version 13, which I did in two previous videos. Please try to upgrade and see how beautiful it looks. Okay, without further ado, let's go into today's topic. Today's topic is about importing an external Bootstrap template into our Frappe website. I showed you two templates earlier on. I showed you this template and I showed you this other one, Homeland. I'm more concerned about using this Homeland template. It's looking more beautiful. And as a web developer, oftentimes you do not need to kind of build some templates from scratch. You can use an already existing template if it fits or suits your work. You can use any template, be it a admin LTT or any other. In the previous videos, I showed you how to create web pages, but now we are going to go deeper into it. And recall, let me recap that we have three folders particularly we are more concerned about when building web page. The first is this www folder. This should be where your HTML files and your background processors, your web processors should be. This template should include HTML files you wish to import. What kind of files can you import? Take for an instance, this header and the footer should be in a separate HTML file that you can always extend, or I can use the keyword import so as not to keep repeating yourself in every HTML file you want to use that will include this header and the footer. It's the same thing on Frappe. This Frappe itself calls this header itself, and the footer is called from an HTML file called base.html, and you would also like to do that for yourself. And the last one is this public. This public should be where you place your static files. It should be your JavaScript files, CSS, fonts, and images. Images that should not be changed. That's called something like your logo and some other images that is static in the system. Okay, first off, first thing first is to import these templates. Not this, sorry. Thought I closed this page, this browser. Okay, is to import this Homeland template. Earlier on, I provided the link, but I may have to provide the link again. You can grab the template; it's free for you to use. So I'm going to make use of it, and I still believe it's free. Although I read through the page, I was able to download it from the author directly using my email. Okay, the first thing you do is download the template. I've already downloaded this template to a folder called just any folder, as long as you can import it into your development environment. And I extracted the Homeland, this template itself, Homeland. The first thing you do is grab the entire static files, copy it, go straight into our apps folder, the estate app, go to the public. I don't want it to be on the root. I just want it to be in a folder, another folder, a subfolder called Homeland, so as to know in case I'm using different Bootstrap templates, I should be able to organize them. So there will be no kind of interactions between two different files. Imagine you have two different jQueries. There'll be some kind of miscommunication. That's the first thing. Copy them to your public folders. Then the next thing to do is come to this www folder and grab the index file, copy and paste it. And recall that to access anything in this www folder, it is the name of the file, that is your site URL slash the name of the file. But if I use the name slash index, it will end up returning me to this page. This page itself in the system database is known as index or home. So take proper note that using slash index will not work for our root www URL. I will show you how to do that such that once you come to your URL, it will show you our Bootstrap template. But for the now, let's kind of move ahead. First, I'm going to rename this file to, I'll call it property. Call it property, right? Or, okay, I'll call it property. Then come back to the browser, type slash property. Do not include the .html. Okay, our page has fully loaded, but you can see that the static files is not showing properly. When you right click and inspect the source code, you observe that, okay, not inspecting from the terminal. I think it's view source page, not inspect. When you try to view, you see the URL says CSS Bootstrap. Our folder static files cannot be recognized using this URL. And take note, we move the static files into this public folder, into another folder called template. But how does Frappe access these public folders? It accesses it through the site itself. Go back into our estates apps, the bench itself. Open the site folder where you find your site, the site folder directory and the common site config. In this folder called assets, this is where you find all the static files. You find the list of every applications you have installed and the static files involved. Now we have assets slash our app. And what do you see next? The homeland from the static folder and the content. Meaning that in your static file URL, it should be assets slash apps slash homeland. I might have to zoom this. How do I zoom? I mean, there should be a way to kind of zoom view. Can't really find a zoom here for the now. I'll just continue. Should be assets slash estate app slash homeland. And how do we do that? From the source code, property source code, you can find this CSS here. Just grab this, Control C, Control F, then paste it down here as well. But this time around, you write it as slash assets slash estate app slash homeland, then slash CSS, because in the homeland folder, you find the CSS. Okay, how about the for the fonts? You do the same for the fonts. Replace or then how about let's kind of replace this as well. Href the CSS. Okay. I think we did not replace this earlier, even after typing that. Replace. Use replace all. You should replace all instances encountered, not replace, but replace all. Then how about the static files? JS. The static file is in src tag src. So you also replace down here with src and js. You see how the folder is structured. Then you save. How about the images? It should be HRE. Images is src slash images. Find. You have a lot of them, 15 of them. Copy this, replace images with images, and replace. Save. Go back to the browser, the page, and reload. The page should, okay, you see this showing right now, but there's kind of an issue, a little issue. You see the slider is not showing well, but when you scroll down, you see every other information is loaded. You can see it, but the slider is not loaded. The slider should be in kind of a URL tag or something URL. I'm going to search for URL. Yeah, you can see where the slider is, background image. I'm completely going to replace this URL with this, replace both. You can see how the URL is replaced. There's an issue here. You see images showing twice. So Control Z to revert, copy this, place the image here, replace. Okay, it's properly placed now. Save it once more, go back to the browser and reload. And now you have your web page working perfectly. But you can't just tell people to access your site through property. There are certain things you still need to do. How about creating every other page? Will you keep replicating each of the HTML files? No. The first thing you do, just like I talked about in page inheritance, separating the header and the footer of the web page. That's a rule of thumb. And how do you separate the header and footer? Recall Frappe itself. Every page in Frappe is extended from another page. Take for instance slash this login page, login.html. It extends, that is, it kind of picks up this web.html, then adds these other ones in between. And web.html is in templates folder. And the web.html itself extends from another file called base templates. And how do you know where the base templates is? You can check the hooks.py, the Frappe hooks.py, not as Control F, search for base. You see where the base is template slash base.html. It's trying to tell you that the web itself extends from template slash base.html. And we will do same, but there's an issue. If we recall that you can always replace any page in Frappe, like in the earlier video I showed you that you can replace the login and some other pages. If we go into our own app and create a file in this template called base, we'll end up causing issue base.html for the Frappe default template. Come to this, reload this page, and you see you may end up having a blank page because you can always replace any page in Frappe if you have file name the same file name and in the same root level. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to call it estate underscore base.html. You can reload this page and it should work fine. Okay, then in this estate.base.html, there is one thing I'm going to do. First, let me create a new file here so you can understand what is going on inside this my www. I'll create a new file, just call it content.html. I'll delete it later, but I want to use it to keep what I'm grabbing. The first thing to remove the header entirely that will be inherited by all pages. I'll grab everything until I get to the div that closes this contact. This is the final div after the contact before the main page content. The next thing, you can see this background image. You see blog, about us and contact. You go to the URL, you see the same thing, blog, about us and contact. The header ends in that div. Cut this header completely, go to essay base, paste it. Then in between, after this header, you type this called block content. We'll see how what block content will do. Then end block content. This is a Ginger template. For it's the same template we used when we were kind of what's it called, when we built print format, print formats. It's used for injecting Python code directly into your HTML templates. That's what we use Ginger code for. Then after this, we go back into our property, go straight down, copy from the last up to where you see the footer tag, cut, come to this estate base, under this end block, paste and save. The next thing you do is go in between this header and footer, this block content. Wherever a page encounters this block content, any of your file, it will pick the header, the footer, then apply your new code in between here, so as to show the complete page contents. Now for the property itself, I'm going to copy the remaining content, cut it, paste it in this content folder. This content folder is just temporarily. I won't be making use of it. I only want to use it for explanation for the now. Okay. Now this property, I want you to save it. If you reload this property page, you get an empty blank page. Okay, how do you inherit the header and footer from this estate base? You repeat the same code, block content inside there. But this block content should extend a file, should extend this our base.html. Where is this base.html stored? It's stored inside this templates folder. So we say extends templates slash estate underscore base.html. Remember to close your tag, save. Now we have completely copied this file into this place. Then whatsoever goes in between this block content will be pasted in between this block content. Reload your page, you will only find the header and the footer of this HTML template. You will see the header and the footer. How do we include the content in between? Come back to the source code. This content, control everything, you can cut. Come back to this property, then paste it in between this block content end block. Save, reload your page. And you can see we have just imported and we have just what dismantled, imported an HTML bootstrap or a bootstrap template, dismantled it, and what reused the header and the footer. That is extension, and everything still works fine. Now, to before I go further into working on this contact page and some other pages, there is something I want you to take note of, and you should take it as a kind of advice or practice. In creating a URL, anytime you are building web pages, do not just come into this www and start dropping file, user.html, detail.html, people.html, course.html. No, I do not think that is right. I advise that each of your group or of your web page group should be in a folder. Then the folder should have an index.html file. Now we have property, we have agents, right? How about you arrange your folder in this manner? In this www folder, I'll create a folder called property. Then this same www, since we have property, we have agents, I can create another folder called agents. Agents. Then in this property.html, can move this property, is can get rid of this content. You may not be able to delete it from this file. If I try, it may say something like permission issue or so. Just go straight. You can create but may not be able to delete. Go back to our dev bench apps, estate apps again, www, this content, delete it. Then how about I move this property into this property folder, then rename it to index.html. Then for the agent, I'll create a new file inside called what? Index.html. Okay. How about inside this property, I have a sub URL called um, types as a URL, and inside the type, I have another what file, index.html. Now, this is, let me kind of explain this properly. You have your main root URL. This is what root URL property. And inside the URL, you still have another URL type, meaning that you have your sites.com/property/types. When you go to slash property, it will first pick the index page. When you go to slash types, it will first pick the index page. And when you go to agent, it will pick the content of agent. In fact, I'm going to give the agents, just write something using H1 agent. Okay, let us demonstrate. Now, when I reload property, it no longer sees this as a file, it sees it as a folder. And in the property folder, we have index.html. It will automatically pick the index.html. So I advise you have it, even if you have any other pages, you can still align it, but have a default index.html. For the types, how about I enter slash types? It should show you a blank HTML. Then how about I write a content into the types? Hello. You see it show this hello, but for the fact that we did not show it which base.html file to pick, it will automatically pick the system default, the base template path. That's why we have this. And how about the agent/agent? To automatically pick the index.html file in the agents folder. You see it, to automatically pick it. So please always try to arrange your web page content in folder, structure it in folders for more organizations. Do not just drop your content, naming different file. Try and structure it. The Frappe will automatically check the folders and configure a URL for you. Then what's next? What next are we going to do with this property? Okay, we have been able to, expand to get the header and the footer. Now, how about, sorry, I have to go back to this URL. How about creating for the contact page? What do we do in creating this contact page? You click this, you will get some kind of, it takes you directly to contact.html. Why? Go back, look at this URL. It says your URL/contacts. There is already a contact in Frappe. Open Frappe, go straight down to www. You can find a file called contact.html. In my own app, right? Frappe. If I create a file here called contact.html in the same folder level, contacts, it will automatically replace the one in Frappe. You see it? But we will not do that. We will not do that. I'm going to delete the contact.html. I'll go back to our template, copy the contact, come to our www folder. Inside the property, since it's in this property, let us follow the URL for the, what's it called, the property. Paste it as contact, your HTML. Now go back, type slash, it should be slash contacts because we have slash property for the root. It will recognize the index file, then slash contacts. Do not add the HTML, slash contacts. To show the contact page, but there will be an issue, it will not load the static files. Okay, the contact page has loaded. I told you we have to use the same way we worked on the index page. We'll do the same for the contact. Okay, in the index page, you grab this to extend that this. Open this contact file. Remove the entire header until you get to that contact last URL and the div enclosing this last URL contact and this div. Delete it, paste the above tag. Then also go to the footer, remove this the entire footer. Excuse me, delete, then enclose it with what? End block. Now reload your page and you'll see there's a difference. Although the page will not completely load the content, but there will be a big difference. Okay, now you see the page has loaded, but there's no image at the top. Normally it should look like this. It should look like this. Exactly. But on our own page, you see there are missing images and missing header background image. Do same as you have done previously. Find URL if it exists, URL slash images. There is one for the header image, you replace the entire content. Then how about src images? You have one there, you also replace three of them. Reload your page and you have a perfectly working contact page. But we are not done yet. You can take note of something, can take note of this URL. If you look at the bottom left, you see my URL 192.168 to slash property slash index.html. That was not right. Then you also see the contact URL. We have to adjust this URL as well. But how about when you visit your URL homepage? When a user visits your URL, instead of seeing this page, the person should see your main web portal rather than seeing this page. All you need to do is come to your desk, check websites, I believe. Yeah, this first one, open website. Then website settings. Now this first landing page, home is the index page. This file is either in index or in home.html. All you need to do is change it to our URL. Our URL is what? Property. Change it to what? Property and save. Right now, you can watch, reload this home, you still have this. But how about when you click on this to take you to the root URL? And your root URL is what? Your template. Take a look at the URL. You have your template completely showing before you. Okay, then after doing this, we have to work on fixing this home button logo, this and the contacts to reflect properly. If you click on this contact, you still take you to Frappe contacts. And this other one should show you, it should take you back to this home page, but you don't want to be seeing this index.html. And for this, to adjust that, go straight to your base, estate base.html. I'm going to make this show on full screen. From this menu, change this to slash property slash contacts. For the index.html, just make it type slash there. Then for the logo itself, that homeland, this homeland, change it to slash so it can visit the home URL. Then you can change the URL name to estate app. Okay. How about um, reloading this page? Okay, right now you see it has changed and this has also changed. And the contact, how about clicking on the contact? It took you directly to the contact page. One more thing, you observe that the fav icon is not showing properly, then the title itself isn't working too well. And one other thing, okay, I could just view the website with this. Takes me to the index, um, to home. Okay, I want to get this ERPNext. Excuse me. I want to get this ERPNext fav icon. Can inspect view page source. Here is the fav icon. You can search for what fav icon. Sometimes I call it fav icon. Grab this entire link, copy, go straight to my source code at the top of this estate base because that is the file that will be inherited by all. Before this link, I'll paste it here as my fav icon. Save and reload. You should see this fav icon will be replaced with ERPNext. This blank. You can see it has been replaced with ERPNext. Then how about the next thing, changing this title, the web page title? You see it says Homeland Color Leave Website Template. Here is the title in the same estate base. I'm going to show you how to work on it. Use the same tag block title. This title should be the variable name. Wherever I use it, it will know the tag, but always use a name similar to the tag. End block. Then here I'll have a dash, then estate app suite. Okay, reload this home page. You see a dash slash estate app. How do you use this? On every web page you open, it should have its own name slash estate app. You can retrieve the name of your app from your system as well using the Frappe doc. We'll get to that just like we did in the print format. Copy this title, go to the index, not this. Okay, immediately after this extends, type this as home. Then for the contact, immediately after the extends, you can say contact us. Reload your home page and take note of this. You see contact us on the contact page. How about the home page? You see it says home estate. Now you can inherit that on every page. And you've seen how you can easily import a Bootstrap template into your app. We are not done working. We have to still work such that this search should work. And our property should also be working, should list property. And not just that, when you click on the property, it should take you to the property information, just like this. It takes you on something looking similar like this. Okay, that's just it. And it's not just this template you can import. You can import any Bootstrap templates, be it something like admin LTE. You can import it into Frappe. these templates you see, you can import as it looks like this. All you have to do is when you import, you separate this header with this menu just the same way, and this footer or every other page, we inherit it and import the main page content. And that just, I hope you learned a lot from this video. Please do like, subscribe, and also share to your friends who might benefit from this video. Thanks once more, and please bear with me about the background noise.